The wood bison or mountain bison is a distinct northern subspecies or ecotype of the American bison. Its original range included much of the boreal forest regions of Alaska, Yukon, western Northwest Territories, northeastern British Columbia, northern Alberta, and northwestern Saskatchewan. Morphology. In comparison to plains bison, wood bison is heavier, with large males weighing over 900 kilograms, making it the largest terrestrial animal in North America. The highest point of the wood bison is well ahead of its front legs, while the plains bison's highest point is directly above the front legs. Wood bison also have larger horncoes, darker and woollier pelages, and less hair on the forelegs and beards. Conservation. In addition to the loss of habitat and hunting, wood bison populations have also been in danger of hybridizing with plains bison, therefore polluting the genetic stock. As with other bison, the wood bison's population was devastated by hunting and other factors. By the early 1900s, they were regarded as extremely rare or perhaps nearly extinct. However, a herd of about 200 was discovered in Alberta, Canada, in 1957. This herd has since recovered to a total population around 2,500, largely as a result of conservation efforts by Canadian government agencies. In 1988, the Committee on the Status of Endangered Wildlife in Canada changed the subspecies conservation status from endangered to threatened, where it remains. On June 17, 2008, 53 Canadian wood bison were transferred from Elk Island National Park in Alberta, Canada, to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center near Anchorage, Alaska. They were to be held in quarantine for 2 years, and then reintroduced to the native habitat in the Minto Flats area near Fairbanks. But this plan was still on hold until the 7th of April 2015. In May 2014, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service published a final rule allowing the reintroduction of a non-essential experimental population of wood bison into 3 areas of Alaska. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game introduced the first herd of 100 animals to the Anoka River area in western Alaska in spring 2015. The new regulation will take effect June 6. Currently, about 7,000 wood bison remain in the wild, located in the Northwest Territories, Yukon, British Columbia, Alberta, and Manitoba. In 2006, as part of an international conservation project, an out-herd was established in Yakutia, Russia, where the related steppe bison died out over 6,000 years ago. Additional bison were sent from Alberta in 2011 and 2013 to Russia, bringing the total to 120. Diseases. Publicly owned free-ranging herds in Alberta, British Columbia, Yukon, and the Northwest Territories comprise 90% of existing wood bison, although 6 smaller public and private captive breeding herds with conservation objectives comprise roughly 10% of the total. These captive herds and 2 large isolated free-ranging herds in the Yukon and Northwest Territories all derive from disease-free and morphologically representative founding stock from northern wood buffalo National Park in northeastern Alberta and southern Northwest Territories. These captive herds are particularly important for conservation and recovery purposes, because the larger free-ranging herds in and around wood buffalo National Park were infected with bovine brucellosis and tuberculosis after 7,000 plains bison were transshipped by barge from Buffalo National Park near Wainwright, Alberta in the 1920s. Diseases including brucellosis and tuberculosis remain endemic in the free-ranging herds in and around wood buffalo National Park. The diseases represent a serious management issue for governments, various local Aboriginal groups, and the cattle industry rapidly encroaching on the park's boundaries. Disease management strategies and initiatives began in the 1950s, and have yet to result in a reduction of the incidence of either disease despite considerable expenditure and increased public involvement. Name. The term buffalo is sometimes considered to be a misnomer for this animal, as it is only distantly related to either of the two true buffalo, the Asian water buffalo and the African buffalo. However, bison is a Greek word meaning ox-like animal, while buffalo originated with the French fur trappers who called these massive beasts buffs, meaning ox or bullock, so both names, bison and buffalo, have a similar meaning, though the name bison might be considered to be more scientifically correct. As a result of standard usage, the name buffalo is also considered correct and is listed in many dictionaries as an acceptable name for American buffalo or bison. In reference to this animal, the term buffalo dates to 1635 in North American usage, when the term was first recorded for the American mammal. It thus has a much longer history than the term bison, which was first recorded in 1774. The American bison is very closely related to the Wisent, a European bison.